Hello everyone, Pierce Nation here. Welcome back to a new video. Today we will be doing the Ryzeal Master class that I'm offering. So, normally you have to pay $50 for each class that I do offer each month. You pay $50 to me, and what it does is it gives you all of the insight on whatever deck's popular, and whichever deck that I decide that I'm going to be on and that I want to give a class on. Normally, everything's up front, but today this will be a free course for anybody. This is something I'm giving out for free because I feel like doing it. And I feel like a lot of people are misunderstanding this deck entirely due to the Ryzeal Facebook groups, the Ryzeal Twitter groups, and just people just misplaying in general and just don't understand the deck. The deck's really simple. That's one thing. Just don't overstipulate what this deck does, and that's really all there is to it. So before we get started, I'm going to explain the cards that are in the decks, ratios, cards that you play and could substitute. I think this is probably the best build you're going to see out. It doesn't play mulch armies because I think mulch armies are just bad. If you're playing Full into this deck, you're just going to lose because even if you get like 3 or 4 extra draws, whatever it is, it's not going to do anything because as soon as they make duo drive, they're just going to drill themselves. So I don't see a point in doing that. Plus, most of everything that there is just it just is what it is, and the deck just performs on its own, and it really doesn't need those cards to be able to perform. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the first of all the deck, and then we will get into the complete spreadsheet of the deck. I will show you the 3 main combos that you will be doing, and it doesn't stray from the 3 combos, because every Ryzeal card in the deck is an extender minus a node that has to have an Xyz monster on field or engraved. So let's get into the main deck profile. So we are going to start off with 3 Ice Ryzeal, 3 Sword Ryzeal, 3 X Ryzeal, and 1 Node Ryzeal. These numbers are pretty standard. They don't change. They're right where they're at. I would not play a second node unless if like a super good support card comes out to where node is more viable, but it's fine the way it is. You play your 10 monsters and the whole deck just facilitates around itself. So if you know nothing about Ryzeal, this can summon any Ryzeal from deck on normal summon. They all have a special summon clause, including node, where they can just special themselves from hand for free, which when you have a deck like this, it's broken as shit. The best way to do this is any light pyro can add any fire thunder monster. And any thunder fire monster can add a pyro light monster besides node. Node's the only one that can't. But node is the extender, or your basic extender, where it summons one back from grave to its own effect. So that's a basic majority of the Ryzeal names, and it's not that hard to understand. Next of all, you got your non-engine lineup of monster hand traps. So 3 Ass, 3 Joel, 3 Veiler, 2 Nib, 2 Ogre. So this is what I play. I feel this is really good. You can cross out a lot through this, and you'll see why hand traps are kind of like cut. And they're at this ratio because I believe having more non-engine is more valuable than having a secondary engine in the deck. Which so far I've not really been incorrect. I win most matchups versus Fiendsmith because I play the deck this way. So then your spells, you play a 1 of cross, 1 of plugin. Cross, if you have a Ryzeal Xyz monster, you can just negate any monster effect. Doesn't activate despite detaching a material from Ryzeal Xyz. And then you can also target 2 Ryzeal cards, place them on the bottom, draw a card, which is super good. It's always a draw 1. Turn 2, well, sometimes even turn 1. Turn 1, if you get this off, like, you're just getting so much advantage. Plugin, target an Xyz monster or a Ryzeal monster that is banished or in graveyard. Again, you can target any, doesn't matter. Special summon it, then attach 1 Ryzeal card. Well, then you can attach 1 Ryzeal card from deck, which I always do. You want to normally Plasma Hole is the one you want to attach. So let's do those. 3 Bonfire, it's obvious. You're playing Pyros, so you need to go and search them. 3 Designator. Called by, that goes hand in hand. And also what goes hand in hand with it is the double talents. Like I said, you cut 2 hand trap spots for talents. I think it's smart. Talents in most games will automatically win you the game. Because talents is like the best card in this format. We'll go double desires, because desires is like super good. And then you got 1 plasma hole and then 3 imperm to wrap up the non-engine hand traps to exactly 16. And that's it for the entire main. So that's the main you got to focus on. You have all of that to gear up with your 10 monsters, which is pretty consistent, but is not the most consistent. Once we get 7 Tachyon, then we'll be talking. Extra deck, put it over here. Play 2 Detonator, 2 Duo Drive, 1 Aggregator, 1 Zeus. This is all standard stuff. I don't play Typhon, that's the only thing that's going to be different. I play Bagooska, Light Dragon Agnister, 104 Masquerade, number 60 Dagoras, 4 Armored Lance, Tornado Dragon, Abyss Dweller, Excidion Knight, and this card, which hasn't come in yet, is Star Leech, which you'll be seeing this card on the board a lot. Simply because if you make this card, your Duo Drive resolves like a 70% more clip. And it makes your Detonator where it can't be targeted either, which is fantastic. So you can't just imperm Detonator and win. So basically, this is only to stop targeting effects. So like Ultimate Slayer, you can Ultimate Slayer if you're under Star Leech. This is Star Leech Photon Dragon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can Google it. You can look it up on TCG Player. You can find it. It's not hard. Excidion Knight is for clearing boards. Super good card. I know y'all can't see it because it's got the glare on it, but just know that it is Excidion Knight. Dweller, obviously, it's just for routing like Fiendsmith bullshit and whatever graveyard decks there are. Tornado Dragon is just a quick effect pop. 4 Armored Lance is for OTK purposes. Dagoras is for basically OTKs and drawing a shit ton of cards and basically winning turn 1. 104 Masquerade, that's a tenpai tech. You basically go into it once they enter battle phase and you just negate everything they do. The Light Dragon is just for popping cards. I'll go ahead and just wrap this up here. Bagooska, you basically just sit under it. Like I feel that for this card needs banned, it needs to be Bagooska. Bagooska and probably Dweller, because these cards are just in this deck are just stupid. This card's especially stupid because you can't really do anything. So like if you go in the mirror of Ryzeal and you're able to make Star Leech, Duo Drive, and then you just slap down Bagooska, like they're pretty screwed because you can't really do anything. You can't get no effects. You gotta hope you have enough to at least make a Detonator. Zeus, we all know what it's used for. Aggregator is just used to be sent off of X. And then 2 Duo Drive and 2 Detonator for the engine. So Notice I ain't showing you a side deck. If you don't know how to side deck at this point, I think we have a problem on its own. Put my side deck like that, or my extra deck. And then I'll go ahead and shuffle up here. There's no point not to. But basically, I'm going to run you through the 3 main combo lines to start. And then we're going to get into some complex stuff. So your complex stuff is more of the lines of how to play through certain cards, which the first board I put up is going to explain a lot. Because it puts up a board that plays through a lot, but also plays into certain cards. Hopefully it's shuffled up enough. Alright. Let's see what we got. Well, that's never good to start. I'll have to do it this way. I'm going to be playing mostly on the left side because of the glare. Okay. This is what we got. So, real quickly, without using Bonfire, I'm going to show you the X line. The X line and the Ice line, which starts with Bonfire, it's all the same. But the smarter play is to actually Bonfire and go get Ice. I'll explain this. If they drill here, you still get 3 bodies. So it doesn't really matter. So you get your Ice Ryzeal. I'll show you Ice Ryzeal line. So normal Ice effect, you are going to special summon out Sword Ryzeal. Again, it's got that glare on it. And then Sword Ryzeal effect, you'll go and add a light. Typically it's X'd, but we'll go ahead and add X because it's fun. And you will send your Neurological Aggregator. Special X, go X effect. You can't add no, but we will add sword. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter because you've got a lot of names already. Now you could summon the dude out and then summon node and do the combo that way. But you don't have to. You can summon node here. Go these 2 into Star Leech. So at this point you're already playing, unless if you get hit with Nibiru on the summon of the Star Leech, you're fine, you just play. But you'll go Duo Drive. Now here's what you have played through. You have played through Ash, Veiler, Mourner. You've also played through Ghost Ogre, because you can't Ghost Ogre this now. You can ogre it, but it won't do anything. Simply because Star Leech. Star Leech says that monsters with 2,000 or more attack cannot be targeted and cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Duo Drive is at 27. Star Leech is at 2k. As of right now. You cannot interact with either of these cards. What this can still lose to: Ash Blossom, Dominus Purge, which not many decks can play that right now, and Nibiru. That's what this can lose to. This combo right here can lose to those 3 cards exactly. Purge really isn't in format. It will be next format, but you really can't lose to a whole lot of things. There's a lot of cards that is outs 4+ cards, so I think it's pretty good. Plus, when you go to your opponent's turn and they start doing the stuff, they can't target your stuff and they can't destroy them. So, go ahead and detach 2 from Star Leech with the effect of Duo Drive, and you're going to go add plug-in, and I didn't draw it, did I? I don't think it did. No. Cross. So plug in cross. That's typically my ads. Typically, unless if I don't have the engine, then I will go and do that. Right now I have too much engine. So this actually is the hand. So when you plug in, it's not really going to do a whole lot here. But basically, you're going to activate cross first. So if they have nibiru, they have to drop it. And then you can plug in, bring back node. You do want to always try to attach a card. So I'm going to attach, not sword, ice. Where's ice? There's. So I'll attach ice to duo drive. Do the plugins effect. So now it's got 3. And then you'll go. You could use effect, but you don't have to here. You can just special summon sword. Go these 2. Make a detonator. Go detonator effect to attach the mirrological aggregator. Before you go in phase, do activate cross, targeting sword and plugin. Put them on the bottom of draw card. Like I said, you can do it on turn 1. This is one of those instances where you can do it turn 1 because you have so many resources. To where before you can't really do it because you don't have enough. That's why sometimes ditching some names is not a terrible idea just to get the draw out of it. Because sometimes it's very useful. So, to the desires. You have 2 desires. Go ahead and fire off 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Draw. Double talents. If they activated anything in your turn, you can now talents them. Your banishes. You hit 1x, but besides that, everything's fine. Jet, call by, like all your ash blossoms basically. Like if they interacted, you have them, and you have it for the following turn too. But you can just set 1. Let me put it over here. And pass, and you have enough to get through your opponent. If they have talent, you can't cross it out. However, but like if they would take your stuff, you can out detonator really easy because of plasma hole. Because you did top deck it in the initial draw, so and you have enough to where if they did not break the board, to where you draw, you can banish top 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because you didn't use a lot of names to start. This is going to hit a few of them. You're going to hit an ice and a sword. You're going to draw 2. And you've got enough to get going. So if they, let's say they outed detonator and they outed drive, right? Let's say they got that far. You can then cross. You can target sword and node. Put them on the bottom. Basically draw a card. I'm not going to shuffle it, but we're going to draw into nibiru. You have all of this to deal with. And then they'll like, they might think that you're out of stuff, but you actually just put back everything you needed. So bonfire. Actually, I did not put back the right card. I put back 2 swords. Ooh! Not sword. Ice. Sorry, guys. But yeah. Basically, just add it. And you go effect here. You go get sword. Sword is special itself. It doesn't really go anywhere with it. And then you just summon X from hand. Again. Sending, you say whatever. I'll send bagooska for God's sakes. Doesn't matter. And then you can go effect, add node. Go node. Overlay for 2. into duo drive, and then these two for detonator effect, reattach meteorological aggregator, and then duo drive will attach any Ryzeal name, so I'll just attach itself, like whatever. I don't believe you can, yeah, you can't do that because you cannot fulfill duo drive's cost, but like whatever. You have enough to OTK. So that's basically how it goes. No, not very often do I say resolve 2 desires. That's a really bad idea. I mean, if you saw, I have 2 cards in deck, so yeah, you can basically just fire off desires at will in this deck, and it doesn't really hurt if you've already gotten your certain cards out. So we'll get on to the next combo, and it has to do with X. So if you open X ice, it does the same thing. And it doesn't really matter how you do it. It just always happens that way. So I'm just going to draw like the first... Oh, cut that. That's fine. So we're going to do this one by only using X. Okay. Just put all these back in there. Make sure no extra deck. Cool. Thought I had them all. I'm just going to shuffle it up here a little bit so it's all random. And honestly, if you open the hand that I got right here, it's freaking goated. Hold on. If you open this hand, you're on God. Like, for real, man. This hand is really fucking good. Minus draw. So, effect. Send the aggregator. Again, these are summoning conditions. They do not activate, even though you hear me go effect. And go effect here. So it will actually add sword. You can special sword effect. You'll go and you'll get ice. You can then normal ice, go ice effect. And you will special node. And you can basically perform the same thing again. This is just doing it freely. I've got to show you these lines before I can go through the anti-nibiru lines. Drive. Resolve drive. Got the same 2 cards. This time you will use plugin. And you will like fully use plugin here. Plugin. Special node, not plugin, freaking node. And you'll go node effect. You'll pitch. At this point, if you ain't activated anything, I'll pitch talents. And I'll special back sword. And I'll go to these 2. For detonator, I have to resolve plugin. I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys. Attach plasma hull. I'm trying to get through these combos and get it done in an hour. So just bear with me. An hour is all I got time for right now. And then you go detonator effect, and you will attach aggregator. I'll notice these boards are all for going first. And you can end on that. You don't have to do no fancy work. You got the bonfire for follow-up, so it doesn't matter. You never let your opponent know you have bonfire. That's the one thing you need to like get in your mind is do not let them know you have bonfire. Some people will bonfire for X and say X is the better starter. To me, Ice is the better starter because that's your good normal. That's the one I want to see 90% of the time. Now, if you stop it, I do a bonfire, I will search X. But this is the main inboard you're wanting to go for, which is Starly's Duo Drive and Detonator, and these both have 3 materials. Some people say, well, you're pervious to talents. Not really, because you have the non-engine to back it up, and you also have the follow-up to back it up too. You're gonna try your best not to play into talents, but with this hand and the board state we have set up, it's kind of hard not to play into talents. So, to me, talents is what it's gonna be, and you just gotta roll with the punches. That's all. But, yep. I've got one combo to show you with just sword. And then that goes in here. Then we'll get going. And we'll show you some real nifty combos. Show you how to play under nib. I'll keep an eye on that. I think I busted the bottom of the sleeve. Hope I didn't. That'd be something, huh? I've been playtesting it for a little bit. Fuck. So, initially I did a video, but all the stuff was set to like the max settings, and it could not hold. So, OBS, my computer can hold it just fine. Let's go ahead and cut, and we'll draw. I really hope it gives me a sword. Actually gave me unplayable, but we'll put this back for sword, because I just need sword anyway. But it gave me unplayable. That's cool. Yeah, that's a hand you don't want to see. So, you have the normal sword, which is horrible. This is really bad. So, sword effect. You cannot go for ice because you've already used your normal summon. So you have to go for X. I'll put my hand right up here, okay? Just know that my hand is up here, because it keeps getting in my way. It's an aggregator, special, effective X tier. You can go for another sword, or you can go for node. I'm going to go for sword because I do have cross in hand, and I can search node. If I did not have cross in hand, I would be searching node, because node can be follow-up. Notice our numbers of monsters that we have summoned has dramatically increased or decreased, because this line does that. So your special sword, I will use, before I do that, I will go ahead and activate cross. And I'll go to these two, and for duo drive. To really, with opening like this, even though the hand I had bricked, but beyond that point, we're just going to go off the sword and drawing this. You're not beating this. This is almost impossible, because there were 3 points of interaction where I can stop it. Anyway, go ahead and resolve duo drive. Attach 2. And you're going to add node and plugin. Really simple shit here. This is not complicated. So go ahead and put plugin up here. Special note. You've gotten to one of your points. So you don't go too far with it here. Set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4. With this, you should be able to out everything they do. And with cross out, you can go in the talents freely. the chance of them crossing out something you have is not very likely. So, just set 4, and you can chill on detonator and duo drive. You just win the simplified game state because detonator is broken as shit. And also, start activating anything engraved, you can just call by it. So it's fun. Okay. Let's get to a real sophisticated combo here. Now, the deck's not hard to play. That's not where that things are difficult or even a pain in the ass. Where things are difficult is where you have to adjust to what you're going against. So, basically, if you face Memento, you face Ryzeal, or you face Malice, and you put up the inboard that I did in the first and second combo, you're gonna be doing pretty okay. If I face Memento, I might even Dweller, just to make it that much of a pain in the ass. If you can make Dweller Detonator, that's like really, really strong. Duo Drive is the most mid card in my opinion, so there has to be more Ryzeal names to be able to make a 4th Xyz monster. It has to be. Which would be the 3rd Ryzeal name. There has to be one. Because so far, I've not. As I throw my cards. It's amazing. I've done this like twice today. And I threw 2 over here too. I've only been doing this in the past like hour or so. It's like, bro, come on. Alright. Let's do this. So, here we go. I'll show you how to play under nib. You don't have to with this hand. Pull this over here. You don't have to play under nib with this hand, obviously. You've got the card that outs it, but and if you're going to do it, never like reveal that you have the out. Never act like you have the out. Just, we're going to talk a little bit about things that I talk about on one-on-one classes, which is called showmanship. Your showmanship should reveal, and your table presence should reveal that you do not have the out. So, whether if you got to pick your cards up, shuffle them, whether you got to sit there and just whatever it is, just fan your hand out, give it a little pop, fan your hand out, put your cards down on the table, and just look at them, slide them, whatever you got to do. Just kick back, arms crossed, waiting on a response. Never reveal that you have it. The whole time you have it in your hand. The whole time. So, so we're gonna basically, the number one thing that players lose to is table presence because they cannot read their opponent. You don't necessarily need to read, because I can sit here with my hand like this, as I do it all the time, and I sit here and I just, my arms between my legs, and I sit here and I just look at them. And basically, I can read straight through them to let me know if they have nib or not. Because if they have nib, they'll go like this, and I've seen them do it 1,000 times, and they'll go like this, and they'll slide the last card in the back, but they'll do it real fast. So they'll have it here in the middle, and they'll go. We'll do something like that. That tells me I'm not going to play into it because I know as soon as I do, you're going to flip that top card. I can read straight through people like glass. So I'm going to show you how to do the nibiru line now. Now that I've talked a little bit about table presence, if you all have any questions on that, again, you can contact me and we can do the class on it. I can show you how to play through your opponent and know exactly what they have and read them like a book. So you're basically going to start off with your normal play. You'll go X. 90% of the time, they do not interact with these. Simply because if you have any of them else in hand, you can just run right through them. You're going to add a sword. Special sword. Go sword effect. We'll grab ice. Do not summon ice yet. Play these two. And you're going to make duo drive. You're going to see if they have an interaction. Detaches for effect, not cost. So you can ogre it too and it won't resolve. That's why it's mandatory that you play cross out. Basically, you resolve this, you get cross, and you will get plug-in. Because they now know that you have ice. Go and activate cross. Now you can do whatever the hell you want because they cannot stop you. But you have to get to this point first. This is not something you want to do a lot because you want your duo drive to resolve. In this hand, I do have a way to out an interaction, but it is not guaranteed because if they have just about any hand trap in the game, it will stop duo drive. I don't know why they made cards this fragile, but they did, which sucks. But it is what it is. But it is also a body, which is most notably. So you can normal. Special node. You can still do everything that you did before. If they gave information that they were playing a graveyard deck, you can go for that too. Because certain decks play certain ways. If I'm playing anything that has like Mermail in it, I'm just shutting off the graveyard period. If you make Dweller against Mermail, you will win. Got these two. Detonator. Gonna attach. You know, you just, like I said, you're just playing freely. At this point, it doesn't matter. I did not mean to do that. Before you do that, plug in one. God. Nearly almost misplayed. That's under duo drive. Then you'll bring back X. There you go. Let's look at these two, and you can make Star Lead, you can make Abyss Dwellers. It's whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. And then you can just openly Desires for 10. Let's see our Desires before we look at our hand. That's not bad. It's only 2 names. 2 out of 10, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Sword and another Desires. That's great. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is what it is. And again, you've got, you know, cards that help you play through talents. So Crossout's really good for doing that. So there's the line through nibiru, and you can do the same thing with ice. Basically, you're just trying to make duo drive as fast as you can. In order to do that, if you don't have the non-engine to back it up, I don't advise doing that, but if you think you can get away with it, please do. Shit. But It's not always guaranteed. I like to have at least 2 or 3 non-engine cards to go into it. I typically like to have like cross-outs and stuff like that. Helps you play into talents really easily. If you have to plug in a detonator back, it gets like 2 materials because it activates on summon. It activates when special summon, not when it's XZ summon, so that's fascinating enough to know on its own. So I'm going to show you. What am I going to show you? Trying to think on top of my head. Because the mirror is pretty simple. You just put up the board I've been telling you to put up the whole time. You do it in the mirror, you do it against mouse. I can show you how to do tenpai. So against tenpai, you definitely need to make masquerade. That's why it's there. It is not there for just 7th Tachyon later on. It is actually there for tenpai. You will make the card against them. So let me see if I can draw some alright names here. Alright, that'll work. Not the best. Let's do it. I'll show you. Just sit and pay attention. Yep. Perfect. Just to let's plug in. Cross activate. Target. What the fuck? Did I not grab node? The sword's supposed to be node. What the fuck? Okay, so just know that the sword was supposed to be a node. I don't know how I fucked that up. These cards look exactly the goddamn same. But you're supposed to special back node here. Affected node. Bitch. Special. Pass. That is exactly what you do. Non-engine, don't panic. That's what you do. That actually has to be an attack button. If they have like reg acres and shit, you will lose on the spot. I will tell you that. Because I didn't have the secondary resource to pile the names into it. But you do have stuff to kind of, try to keep the flow going. So you do have to pile a lot of names into this, and that's what makes it bad sometimes. But that is okay. Yeah, that's what you do in the tenpai, because if they have to open board breakers. If they don't open the board breakers, which they should open the board breakers. If they don't open the board breakers, you will kill them due to masquerade. Also, got ways to stop them. Be Ash and Ghost Ogre. So. That's all good shit. So that's something you can do under to them. If they shift her, just make this. They're gonna have to out it. If they don't, they will lose on the spot. I know some are opting for like the Fiendsmith shit, but if they do not, because it's really hard for them to open board breakers. If they do not open board breakers, they will not beat you, like, period. Okay, so Memento's an easy one. Just can't play into talents. That's the main thing with those decks. Memento's really good at going first, not going second. So if they're going into detonators, they're not going to do very well, and they're going to have the talents to get rid of the damn thing. I'm trying to think of a matchup. Branded's up in the air because that one's weird right now. It normally takes me to get to the side deck to beat it, because we don't really have stuff in the main that's going to stop it. Because they're gonna Book of Eclipse you to death to where you don't have the Ash Blossom to stop the Branded Fusion, which fucking happens all the time. But I think Branded just gets stronger after this too, because like there's no cap on the ceiling of it. Besides, oh, you hit Branded Fusion to 1, that's cute. Branded Fusion should be at 3, honestly, but it's another deck that's just super strong right now. So, this, again, I opened up 1 sword. That's great. I've been doing it the whole time we've been testing here. So, with the genuine consensus, playing a graveyard deck, or let's say we play the mirror, and I think they're gonna open some spicy cards. I'll show you the stupid line that I do not like, but some people swear and declare by it, and that's the bagooska line. I do not like that line at all, but I'll show it to you. It'll be the last thing I probably share to you, because the rest of it's like just common knowledge at this point. Effect, go get sword, and your special summon sword effect. Get ice, normal ice effect, special out the node. Come on. It's in the bottom card. So node, go these two to drive. Defense, well, it could be an attack, it doesn't matter. Detach 2, add 2 cards, add plug-in field spell. And you can do it before you decide you're going to normal summon ice too. And you can do it with the other 2, it doesn't matter. I'm just doing it this way because it's like very convenient. Activate, and then you'll plug in the node, and you're going to attach the trap to duo drive. Affect the node, special black ice. These 2 for detonator effect to attach ag. Then you'll go these 2 for a defense position, bagooska, which will then shift everything to defense. I absolutely hate this line for the life of me, but it's effective. And it's effective with this hand too, because you have this, the nib, and the ghost ogre. So the bagooska line does exist. This is it. They do lose attack due to duo drive still because it's passive, and once per turn you can detach, keep things from being negated. That's still active. You have the monster negate, and you have hand traps, and you also have a cross out. So if they try to talent you, you've got it covered. So yeah, I mean it all works. I don't like this line at all. I think this is stupid. Some people swear and declare by it. I do not like it. I think it's stupid. I don't know why the fuck we're doing this, but we are. I hate sitting on bagooska because there's a lot of people that do that. They'll sit on this bagooska until they draw the necessary resources to kill. And it's typically in this deck, it's 2 turns. I hate everything about that too. I think bagooska is like the dumbest card ever created. And I mean, I think they just need to ban that fucking thing. I think it's annoying. It doesn't really do anything. There's no like cohesive strategy that has been great because bagooska's got such neat effects. Nope. It's got one that is just a fucking threatening roar for anything that's not a link monster. I just don't like it. I'm not gonna like it either. Switches everything in defense. Not only does it switch into defense, but it negates their effects while they're in defense. I mean, people say what they want. I just do not like the card. I do not care for the card. I think it's a bad card. Do not like bagooska. Sorry. But those are the basic lines for the Ryzeal spreadsheet. Of course, I don't like the card, but I'm going to play it because every telltale sign says to play it, especially when you're down on your luck. So if it says to play this stupid card that I don't want to play, I'm going to play it. So that's a basic rundown of the spreadsheet. Again, if you don't have Star Leads, like I don't have Star Leads right now, you need to go and get them because the card's just super good on its own anyway. Well, not on its own. It's just a super good card compared with other cards. So I do recommend people go out and get them. I think they're going for like $7 a pop. Rightfully so because the card is like really good in this deck for no reason. And there's a lot of people that weren't playing it. Me, I was going back and forth on it. I thought that the card was good, but it was also dog shit because it didn't do anything but prevent targeting. But when you look at a card like Duo Drive, to where it has to resolve and it protects them from being destroyed too, especially with Tenpai running all the board breakers, yeah, I think we'll run Starlight. So the trick with Starlight is Starlight has 2,500 defense and 1,800 attack on summon. So when you summon it, that's gonna be a stat line. But when you summon Duo Drive, immediately these two are way above 2k. This goes to I believe it goes right at 2k, and this one is 27. So on summon you can't target neither of these, which makes it super good. Neither of them can be destroyed by card effects. So if you go to Ghost Ogre Duo Drive on summon, doesn't happen. It rips out the material from Star Ledge. What people need to realize is Duo Drive also does not target. So if you have more than one Xyz monster and you make Duo Drive is going to resolve. Because Duo Drive does not have to be on field, it just has to detach 2 materials from a Xyz monster. So, yeah. Very interesting. All these cards are in there for specific reasons. They out specific cards, and they out specific things in certain situations. Abyss Dweller is just degenerate as a motherfucker. There's a reason why it's banned in the FCG. Generator Dragon is just a quick effect, destroy spells and traps. Don't really have to do that when you have Detonator, so, I mean, it's just there. Like, if I need to out things, like, immediately, I can go to that. Most of these rank 4s, they have to do something to be able to pop stuff. Light Dragon Agnister, it doesn't really have to do that. It just pops cards. Just detach one, destroy a card. Whatever. Most of these are hard onces, but then you have some that are not. Like Masquerade. Masquerade is not soft. Evil Swarm is not soft. And these cards are just really, really good. So, if y'all have any more questions about Ryzeal, nobody even asked questions about Ryzeal. I just decided that I was going to do it. I need to do the deck profile anyway, which I will do the deck profile once I get all the cards for it. I'm currently borrowing cards because it's what I do. If I don't have the cards, I borrow them, and I play them until God knows when. Initially, this wasn't supposed to be Ryzeal. I will say that. Ryzeal was supposed to be Malice. I was going to play Malice. I know every line through Malice, which is why me on Ryzeal, I do really good, because I understand Malice extremely well. I understand that if they set cards to bluff them, that they're more than likely, if they don't activate them in the first few seconds after being set, they are not anything. And that you can bust through the traps very easily if you know what it's doing. But Ash and Ogre or Ash and Bell into the traps is a really fucking smart idea. Especially Bell. If Malice gets more popular, which I'm assuming during the Blue Eyes format that it will, especially Bell. Bell's going to get really important. You could just Bell the Field Spell, and nothing fucking happens. You can also Bell White Binder, too. You can Ash White Binder's effect to return because it draws. You can't do anything to Red Ransom because it banishes from deck. Whatever. You're not really losing anything there. But, I just think that Ryzeal has a really good matchup into a lot of decks. Do I think it is going to be the most oppressive Tier 1 deck of all time? No. No, I don't think so. I do know that Fiendsmith for sure is on chopping block for the next list, so if you have Fiendsmith stuff, probably now is the best time to sell it. I'm expecting when the Blue Eyes Structure deck comes out that there's a ban list that comes right after it. It's just what I'm speculating, because that seems to be how this is going. Since we had 2 ban lists almost back to back, it's kind of odd. I didn't really expect that. I'm not gonna lie, since we didn't get one till August, September, and then they shot one out in December. I wasn't expecting one out in the beginning of December. I can promise you that. And they didn't really solve many problem cards. It took you Bell out of the game because you got one Phantom. You got your Spirit Gets back, but you can't really fucking do anything with it. So you Bell will just be a thing, but it'll be phased out because it doesn't really get much better. The deck that really does get better is Memento. Memento gets exclusively better. But also, once Terminal World 2, or whatever the fuck it's called, I think it's 2, whenever that set comes out, and Gem Knights get introduced, Gem Knights are going to be the new deck to play, because that deck's just cracked. The new Gem Knights is broken. I'll have a full deck list on my channel about it, but I don't think Ryzeal is going to be the best deck. I've played it long enough to realize that if you Ash Ice and you have an interaction for the duo drive, you basically knock it out. That's basically it. If you have those interactions, you just win. You don't have to interact with Ice if you've got 2 perfectly paired up interactions for the duo drive, because although they do make quite a bit, it's almost impossible for them to make the detonator if you do that. So they're basically just stuck on the duo drive. So yeah, Malice and Ryzeal may look scary in hindsight, but they are exclusively fragile in ways that you may or may not know. I played Ryzeal long enough to realize that the deck It has choke points. It's got multiple choke points. If you take out the number 1 card, you're doing a pretty damn good job. If somebody normal a Ryzeal sword against you, you basically know that either they have an extender and that's the only good starter they have, or they have 2 of the same card. So if you if a normal sword, and you go, well, I know you don't have X, and I know you don't have ice, so that has to be another sword. You can kind of figure it out that way. Or it's their only starter. That's as simple as that. Because not many times are you wanting to normal sword. So normally, if you hit that, normally you're doing a pretty good job. But if you're using your only interaction for a sword, hoping to cut it down, they're probably gonna make duo drive and just outplay you. So again, you just gotta look at things and be like, okay, I'm seeing the telltale signs. Do I have enough? And if you don't have enough, don't fucking do it. It's not a good idea. If you can blow out duo drive, you blow out duo drive, and you deal with a detonator. You don't try to out the only card that you see on the field. That's not a good idea. But yeah, if you all have like any questions about any of this stuff, just let me know. I've got to, get the cards to the side deck, prep the side deck. I hope this masterclass has taught you something about the deck. It at least taught you how to play through stuff. At least taught you how to make a really good inboard. If it has, let me know in the comments down below. And, I'll get back with you. I'm not putting that stuff in this. Fuck. I don't know. My deck box went somewhere. I guess I'll find it here in a minute. So, basically, yeah. If you all have any questions, or you want to do the classes and do the one-on-one with me, like I said, I'm free like 90% of my time. I can set up master classes, and I can get you all set up on everything you need to know about the format. I can get you set up on your table presence. Rather, if you're just not a confident duelist at all, and you need help with it, it's fine. Some people do. Some people just, they have the money and they want to be good at the game, but they don't have the time. Like, that is a thing that happens. And somebody like me, I have the time, I have the effort, I put it out there. I learned everything from the ground up, and I had professionals teach me from the ground up for me to be able to, start performing in various regionals and all this other jazz that I do, including YouTube, which is why I started the channel, because I got really good at a card game. I go through all the stuff in my master classes. I did a master class at 6 p.m. today, which is why I'm late to this, because I literally just did a master class where I was teaching, the new Blue Eyes deck. And that's all exclusive through Omega. If you have YG Omega, you can get on there and you can start working on the new Blue Eyes deck, getting it down, getting all the combos down, learning how to play through different various of players. Like, I do most of my classes through YG Omega. And we do like Discord virtual calls, so that they're hearing me, I'm hearing them, and they're really learning how to self-sequence. And also we do things that are IRL. Like, I literally just taught one of my clients the Ryzeal deck. I taught him the Ryzeal deck. He took it to locals. As far as I know, he was 4-0 going in the top cut. So, doing pretty well. So, hopefully he's doing real good. I have my clients are anywhere from Orlando, Florida, to Los Angeles, California, to Louisiana, New Orleans, to up towards Minnesota. I don't teach anybody locally. Nobody. I don't sit down with nobody and teach them anything. The people I play with here locally, I let them do their own thing. I do not teach them a damn thing. And some people do get my classes for free. I will like straight up just give them for free. But my charge rate is $50. Not an hour. It is $50 a class. So if you take the main class for Ryzeal, it covers the month. Because that's the deck that we're on. Every other deck that I would be on, let's say like Memento or Tenpai or Kashtira, those are $50 a class, and I have to go down. I have to fill out a spreadsheet. I've got to, get my decks all aligned, and then I have to run down, find new combos and all this stuff, and I basically set it up for the format. But basically, yeah, it's a process, you could say. So it does a lot on its own. So just keep that in mind. And again, thank you all for viewing this video. If you want to learn more about Ryzeal, but I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. If this helped any of you, leave a like, comment, and make sure if you're new to subscribe. I'm Pierce Nation. We'll see you in the next video. Pierce Nation out.